All right, now that you had a chance to answer those questions, what did you learn about snails? What are you wondering about? And why did the author write this book? I want to show you some other things that I find that's really important for you to learn as a reader. There are some other text features that I wanted to go over with you. Take a close look at these couple of pages. So if you look closely on both of these pictures have something that we call labels right down here. All right. Now, if you look really, really closely, these are eggs, right? These labels often come with photos to help the reader understand what it is that they're looking at. It's giving the reader more information so that you could better understand the text. Now, I'm going to reread this page. New snails. New snails hatch from around white eggs. Baby snails are very small. They have soft shells and eggs. Now that I've reread it, I'm going to go back in, look at this label of eggs, and I'm going to ask myself, do I understand what this is showing me? Yeah, I see that there's a label here, and here are the eggs. And this next page is giving me more information about these baby snails. Let's take a look at some other pages. Throughout the book, especially in nonfiction books, we are going to have a lot of pictures that often will come with diagrams or other text features that help us understand the book. This book is actually going to have a lot of labels to help us understand to help give us more information so that we can understand more about our topic of snails. Here we have the shell and the body of the snail. We take a look here, we can actually see that the snail has a foot. See where it's pointing? There and there. More labels such as these aren't just always going to be one word. They're going to be multiple words that tells us a little more. So, for instance, we have eye tentacle, tasting, and smelling tentacles. So they're going to tell us what those certain things are doing as well, not just giving us a label. Okay? Again, it's giving us more information so that we can better understand the topic that we're learning about. That's the difference with an expository nonfiction text when we compare it to a narrative. Okay. There's another text feature that's really important as you're reading at home or you're reading at school. Now, this other text feature that I want you to know about is going to be at the end of the book. Okay? Some of you might already know what this is. It is the glossary. So we're always going to find the glossary at the end of the book. It is a list of words where the author provides you the definitions of those words. Now, if you notice in the glossary, all of these words are actually bolded. Okay? When we're reading and we're not too sure, or when we come across a bolded word and we're not too sure what that means, we are going to go into the glossary to find out the definition of that word. Now, let's see. Snails in winter hibernate. Snails hibernate all winter. Let's say I didn't know what the word hibernate means. That means I'm going to go back into the glossary Hibernate. Where is hibernate? Ah, there it is. Hibernate. To sleep all winter. Now that I found the word in the back of the glossary, I want to actually turn back to that page. I want to reread, and I'm going to ask myself if it makes more sense now. Snails in winter. Snails hibernate all winter. Oh yeah, it does make sense because that's saying that they need to sleep and rest when it is the winter time. Let's do another one. Oh yeah, down below. They go inside their shells and close them with mucus. Let's say I'm not too sure what mucus means. Where am I supposed to go? You said glossary, you are correct. I'm gonna go back into the glossary. I'm gonna find the word, I'm gonna read it to myself, and then I'm gonna go back in, reread it, see if it makes sense. Mucus, slimy liquid, a small slimy liquid a snail makes to help it move. Okay, it's a slimy liquid a snail makes to help it move. Let's see. They go inside their shells and close them with mucus. So, now I'm wondering, why is it that they have to go inside their shells and actually use the mucus? Right? If they go inside their shells, that doesn't sound like they're moving, but the mucus is meant to help them move. So, you have a ton of different skills to help you in understanding nonfiction books, right? We're going to use text features a lot, such as the labels, the table of contents, the chapter titles. All of these things are going to help us with our reading nonfiction books. Now, after looking at the text features in Snails, what new information did you learn? I want you to press pause here, ask a parent or share with yourself, then press pause. Sorry about that, class. Okay. Which text features did you find the most interesting? Remember to share with the parent, write it down yourself, or comment on Class Dojo. Okay. And now, this is the end of our lesson. I want to remind you, I know it's kind of hard to see, but I'll be taking a picture of it and posting it for you guys as well. For our reading comprehension strategies, remember we've been working on making personal connections, making connections between stories, or we call this text-to-text connections, right? Where we find two books and we find what's similar about them. You've learned about visualizing. Remember, visualizing is the movie that we see in our head when we are reading, right? That is what just makes reading amazing. Making inferences about characters. Remember, inferences are the clues that the author gives you to tell you about how a character is. And we have wondering, right? At different points when I was doing my read aloud, even if it was a nonfiction book, there was still a lot of different wonderings that I came up with. Just like the one about mucus at the end, right? That was a wondering that I tried to show for you guys to watch. And our last one, right, to help us improve our reading comprehension skills is using text features today. Remember, text features include the table of contents, chapter titles, photographs, labels, the glossary, and bolded words. Okay? That is the end of my lesson. Remember, share with your parents, share with your siblings, or comment on Class Dojo. I will be taking a look. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys.